Welcome to my channel Suspense Recapped. Today I will explain the movie named Spider-Man No Way Home. Spoilers here, watch out for the movie. It is shown that everyone knows about Spider-Man. Everyone was considering Spider-Man responsible for all the deaths. Many days passed and now the police arrive at his home. Everyone was seeing Peter as a sinner. He wasn't getting any job or admission to any college. He was worried. His best friends were also facing all this. They were also not getting admission to any college. This was the reason and Peter reached Dr. Stange while thinking about all this. He tells him, because of me my friends are facing problems. Everyone knows about my identity. That I am Spider-Man. My family is also in trouble. Can you erase the memory of the people in the world considering me Spider-Man? Another man arrives and tells him he is the supreme of this place, not Dr. Strange. Because of spending 5 years in another universe, that man knew everything about the place. He tries to stop Dr. Strange. He says don't help him. Dr. Strange knows Spider-Man helped him in saving the whole world. Because of this, Dr. Strange gets ready to support Spider-Man. He takes him to the basement. He does magic there. Dr. Strange says a spell to erase from the people's memory. Peter stops Dr. Strange. He says if you erase the memory of the whole universe, there are some people I don't want them to forget me. My friends and MJ are included in them. I don't want her to forget me. But Dr. Strange was attentive to his magic. He removed MJ's name from the names. Peter immediately stops Dr. Strange between the magic. He says my aunt is also most important. Leave her as well. When Dr. Strange removes his aunt from the magic, meanwhile, Peter remembers someone else. In this confusion, Dr. Strange also gets confused. The magic goes wrong. A piece was made in front of the magic. It wants to end Spider-Man. It comes to Peter. He doesn't know anything about it. He just wanted to get his and his friends admission to college. He goes to the college head first. He discovers she is going out of the city. He reaches her car. He stops her car in the traffic and asks for help. He says please don't punish my friends because of me. They were talking. Meanwhile, Otto Octavius arrives. He has 4 sharp hands. Suddenly, he attacks Spider-Man. There was a huge fight between them. The Spider-Man couldn't understand why the doctor was attacking him. When Spider-Man wears the technology suit for his safety, some particles of his suit remain on the doctor's hand. This wasn't enough. Meanwhile, the Green Cobbler arrives and Dr. Strange arrives and locks Otto Octavius in a cage through his magic. A spider was also in front of them. They ask him who they are and why they come here. Dr. Strange tells Spider-Man, the magic you make me do, you make me confused in that magic. The magic went wrong. The enemies who know Peter is Spider-Man come into this universe. Dr. Strange makes him understand and asks, do you know the concept of the multiverse? He was talking about other dimensions. Dr. Strange asks him whom you have seen there? Peter tells there was another man wearing a green suit. Dr. Strange tells him he died many years ago. How has he arrived here? He gives his gadget to Spider-Man. He has done magic in it and says to Spider-Man, you have to bring your villains here. Later, I will send them back to their world. Peter needs help in all this. He brings Ned and MJ with him. So they can help him. They sat in a basement called the Magic Place. They start doing their task. It means to search for the villains coming from the multiverse. The people considering Spider-Man wrong had poured a liquid of green color on his clothes. Spider-Man's clothes were looking dirty. He wears the suit while turning and moves on to his job. Spider-Man's new suit is shown here. It was of black and looked cool. They reached the place where their enemies were. Spider-Man's friends say there was a great hustle and bustle a few times ago. Meanwhile, Electro arrives. He attacks Spider-Man. Sandman arrives for his help. The Sandman asks Peter, why are you fighting with him? How did I come here? Peter says this is a long story. Firstly, we have to control Electro. The Sandman controls Electro firstly. He controls Electro and locks him into Dr. Strange's jail with Spider-Man. Dr. Strange was also there. He brings the lizard while imprisoning it. The Green Cobbler was worried because of his double personality. He breaks the mask for moving his villain personality far from him. Now they reach Peter Parker's house. They reach his aunt. Meanwhile, Peter arrives and tells them, we will send you back to your universe. They reach the magical place of Dr. Strange while taking them. Here, the villains face each other. Otto Octavius asks question from them. That you died many years ago, then how do you remain alive? They say yes, we have heard about you. While talking they discover they came into this universe when they were dying. It means they can lose their lives while returning back to their universe. Now, these villains don't want to go back to their universe and die. Peter Parker's aunt also makes him understand that the huge powers come from the huge responsibilities. He doesn't send them back to their universe while saying the spell of Dr. Strange. This is the reason for the fight between Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. Spider-Man was unless and understands geometrical math. I can defeat Doctor Strange if I will use it correctly. That's why he moves from there while taking Doctor Strange's bag from him. He leaves him in his world. Doctor Strange gets his magical box from Spider-Man. After returning, Spider-Man discovers happiness as a machine from which we can create anything. That means we can make any gadget. He reaches Happy's home while taking all the villains. He tries to repair the gadgets while making them. Otto Octavius comes at number 1. There was a chip behind his head. Spider-Man repairs it. With its help, he can control his powers. After him, Spider-Man repairs Electro. He sets a device on him so the device will absorb all the Electro power in him. Like this, Electro will again turn into a human. Meanwhile, the Green Mask's villain's second personality removes everything. He suddenly starts fighting with all of them. All villains support him in this fight. They say we have many powers. None can control us. They become together. They start harming Spider-Man. There is a heavy fight between them. All villains were included in it. One of the villains does a blast there. Peter's aunt also dies in it. The situation was out of control here. The villains have escaped and Spider-Man was alone. His friends think if he's alone we should help him. Spider-Man's friend gets the magical rings of Doctor Strange. He does magic with the other hand, not with the magical hand. Meanwhile, a portal opens and the second Spider-Man of this story appears. MJ says this is not our Spider-Man. You have called the wrong Spider-Man. When he again makes his ring round, Peter means Spider-Man arrives. Both Spider-Men talk to each other. They ask each other, who are you and how did you come here? They understand the multiverse concept. They discover the villains have come into this universe together. They also discover there is a third Spider-Man in this universe. On him, all the villains have attacked. They have to help him while going there. From here, they reach the third Spider-Man. The third Spider-Man says if we defeat them we have to consume their powers in a device. Then we will send them back to their universe. No matter if they will remain or die. This is their task. Now they reach Happy's house. They find a machine that makes gadgets. They make the power-consumable device with it for their villains. They were having a heavy fight with their villains. After defeating all the villains, now it was the turn of Green Cobbler. He was showing his normal personality to everyone. The Spider-Man whose aunt was killed by him beats him a lot. Meanwhile, the other Spider-Man comes and saves him. He says he has the right to live, leaves him, but the villain also acts wisely here. He stabs a knife at another Spider-Man. The Spider-Man who has saved him. The third Spider-Man comes and puts a dart in the human personality of this villain. Then all the villains become humans. When everyone turned into humans, Doctor Strange enters. Doctor Strange asks Spider-Man's friend why he has locked him here. He knew he was hanged for 12 hours in his universe. Ned says Spider-Man is making everything fine. Please don't go there. When he will make everything fine you can erase everything in your turn. Here, they three become successful in their task. They change all the villains into humans. Now Doctor Strange removes everything from his magic. He sends the villains to their universes. Peter says to Doctor Strangely, you can remove my memories from everyone's mind if you want. Doctor Strange says if I do this your memories will erase in your nearby people. None will recognize him. Peter says to Doctor Strange if doing this can save the universe you have to do this. After this, Doctor Strange removes the memories that Peter is a Spider-Man. At the end of the movie, Peter's friends are shown as Ned and MJ who know Peter. Now they don't know him. His memories are also erased from their minds about the good thing as they got admission to the college. Peter goes to his aunt's grave. Happy meets Peter and asks him, what are you doing here? Peter tells him the reason was Spider-Man. He says yes, Spider-Man was the reason. The first post-credit of this scene of this story is shown related to this man. He was talking to the bartender while sitting in a bar. Then he disappears from there with Doctor Strange's magic. Here the movie ends.